Alrighty. Hello everybody. Thanks for joining us again for another episode of the Football Fan Zone. We're here to talk all things Premier League, analyze all the weekend's action, get some insight on individuals, players, and clubs. As usual, we have some usual suspects joining us on the show today. We also have a guest joining us today, Gypsy, a Man United fan, coming after a Man United defeat to Arsenal. Gypsy, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm actually great. It was a match that has a lot of questions that needs to be answered, but doing good.
Yeah, we're gonna try and answer them on the show today. Thanks. Uzo is also joining us. Uzo, the sports fan. Uzo, Spurs finally cooked the win. How are you feeling? How did that make you feel?
Yeah, I think that should probably see us secure top five, or at the very least secure Europa. So it's a good win.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
good
good
win.
win. So, objective of the season achieved, right? Okay.
Yeah, also get the dunk on that big head company. So that's always a good time. Send his ass back down to the championship where he belongs.
Wow, nice. Okay, the Adams is also joining us. The Adams, Chelsea fan. Chelsea, 3 wins on the bounce. How are you feeling, the Adams?
I feel like we might
Life is
just
good.
we might just catch Uzo, man. Don't sit too tight.
Our last game of the season is against Sheffield.
Yeah. I know.
Good luck. Enjoy.
Okay. Right. Yeah. My name is Emamude. I was a Liverpool fan. Nothing from the Liverpool perspective. Nothing much to look forward to for the remainder of the season. Yeah. Outside the
Pius, do us a favor. Just lose to Villa so we can play that game against City with no
no worries. We're
stress,
going to get
no
to
hope,
that.
no nothing.
And then to look forward to Jurgen Klopp's farewell party next weekend. Okay. Right. Let's get started. Let's start with the EPL title race. Right. So we just saw a few hours ago, Arsenal defeats Manchester United at Old Trafford, meaning that the title race is going to go down to the final day to decide who will crown the 2023-2024 Premier League champions. Is it going to be Arsenal or is it going to be Manchester City? Gypsy, let me start. Let me since you're the guest, let me come to you, right? Before we come to Manchester United, right, and what's been happening and the issues, or whether you're Ten Hag in or you want a new manager, let me just get your perspective on the title race, right? What do you see happening this final games of the season, and out of Manchester City or Arsenal, right? Who is the lesser evil for you as a Manchester United fan to see lifting the Premier League title?
United fan, I would actually want Arsenal to win because obviously I wouldn't want my neighbors to actually lift the trophy. But if we're being very, very realistic here, Arsenal is actually walking and they're living on a thin thread because we all know what Man City can do. They did it last season to them. They did it to Liverpool years back. They've always done it on final days, and they have 2 games left, which is Tottenham and I can't remember what the last game of the
West Ham.
season West Ham is. And if we're being very realistic here, Manchester City are the favourites to actually win both games. What they want to try to do is not to lose or tie any of those 2 games because of the goal difference, and they want to have that upper edge a day before the final day of the Premier League. So all depends on what Uzo's team can pull out of Manchester City.
Yes, it does. Yeah, I think you made a very good, important point there for Manchester City. They can't afford to draw any game. They have to win, just like you mentioned, because Arsenal has a superior goal difference. So they don't want it coming down to goal difference. They just have to win Tottenham and then win West Ham as well. Um, Adam, let me come to you, right? I know, Adam, and I'm sure, I don't think your opinion has changed from the last time I asked you about this title race, but we're almost there. Next weekend, the final day, right? So no more questions on who is winning it. They will definitely know who is going to
I'm
win
tired
it,
of
right?
I'm tired of us.
By next Sunday, we'll know.
Yeah, we'll know,
No,
man.
yeah.
I'm
So
tired of that question.
nothing has changed on your stance. You don't still
Nah,
see Arsenal stick.
nothing has changed, man. Nothing has changed. We saw Man City. Fulham is so funny, man. Uh, days before the game, they kept tweeting, like doing all this promo, like they could do something against Manchester City. And bro, the game ended. The game ended before it even started. But yeah, I don't see like these guys. We say every time, and these guys know what it is to win. So I don't see. And Tottenham are not good, man. They're not a good team. I watched them against Burnley, bro. You guys are sorry, bro. Uzo, you're a team. I don't know what happened, man. How you guys went from being so good to this. So I don't know, man. I don't see them beating or even tying Manchester City. But like we always say, this is football.
Anything can
twist,
happen.
That thought.
twist our thoughts. But if like you can't bet if you're except you're an Arsenal fan, right? If you're a logically thinking human being, you can't bet against City. Like how are you going to bet against that team?
They're one of those. They're one of those teams that it's inevitable for them not to win. Like
Yeah,
they just
Yeah, they just
would
have
win.
that
And
inevitability about them.
Tottenham are not. They are not that team at the moment. They are not what they were at the beginning of the season. Let's
yeah.
just put it like that.
Okay, okay. So let me come to you, Tottenham fan, right? I'm sure you guys are in a bit of a dilemma, right? I know many of you guys will argue that no, we already know what we need to do. Just spread our legs, or just
Hey yo,
ensure that ensure and Man City, allow Man City to win. But the players will have a different mindset. The coach will have a different mindset. Of course, they are not going to go there with the mindset of, oh, let's allow Man City to win. They want to go there and put up a game, especially if Liverpool gets a result against Aston Villa tomorrow. There's still that minute possibility that they can still sneak a Champions League spot. So I'm sure the management, the chairman, and everybody will be pushing for Tottenham. Of course, Champions League comes with the lucrative, So there's no way they will say, oh, let's just allow Man City to win. So Arsenal does not win and then lose out on Champions League. If there's a chance, I'm sure that the management will push the players and the manager to go for some sort of result. So what it's a very interesting scenario for me. I'm looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward to having Tottenham fans that are in the stadium are going to react when Tottenham scores or Tottenham is leading. So let me ask you. So where are you at?
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I obviously don't want us to win, but I'm not like bothered or like anxious at all. I don't. A lot of people are just disrespecting the greatest manager that we've ever seen in our lifetime, with the greatest team that we've ever seen in our lifetime, coming off of a treble, going for 4 in a row, and all, the sentiment that I see online is, oh, all Spurs have to do is turn up. This is all on Spurs. I hope they don't just roll over. I hope they don't just show up and collect, as if we have a choice. They're making it seem like we're the better team and like we would have to like intentionally try to lose. You don't think they're going to be more motivated? You think our quest for Champions League is greater than their quest for 4 in a row? You think that our quality in our team in the first phase of 1.5, phase 1 of the rebuild, where we're supposed to be in 8th place, you think we're somewhere that we should be challenging the great Manchester City? I'm not worried about this game. I didn't expect Arsenal to lose to United, of course. So I always knew like it would come down to the midweek game. And I'm pretty sure that Manchester City as well would have understood and felt that it would come down to the midweek game. And I look at their performance against Fulham. I thought Fulham actually put up a very, very good fight. And if I'm being honest, right now, Fulham are probably the better coached and better formed side than us in our last recent fixture. So, and this is not me like trying to do the whole like gloom and doom thing. They literally have had better form leading into this game than we have. They've won more games. They've scored more goals. They've defended better. They even beat us 3-0 at their ground during this bad stretch that we've been on. So I'm more inclined to believe that their attack is more potent right now. They have more organization. They defended very compactly. I thought the goals that City scored to kind of break the deadlock was like absolutely world class. 19 passes in a row. Gavardio inverting from left back, who's naturally a center back, does an absolutely amazing run. First touch, cuts the entire defense and plays it back across goal, completely wrong-footing a goalkeeper who was inspired to try to stop Manchester City. Now, that is a team that wanted to stop Manchester City. So now imagine a team where there's probably going to be players within the squad who, if they haven't gotten text messages from their friends, they've certainly got sentiments online from the fans that, hey, listen, we're not saying go out there and like embarrass yourself, but we're not gonna care if you lose. You know what I mean? So like we heard, I don't know if anyone was paying attention to the post match today after the United game. Tim Howard was talking about how while he was at Everton and they lost the City when Liverpool were the ones going for the title, he didn't care that they lost. He said that on live TV, and I think that's actually code for I didn't even try, because obviously he can't come out and say, "Oh, as a professional player, I didn't try my best." He can only say, you know, we were professionals, we put in our best effort. But if somebody tells you they didn't care that they lost, what do you think was going through their mind during the game? You know what I mean? So, and we always know like that next level, that extra level to really get points in this league is passion and desire, like wanting to win, like the desperation to win more than your opponents. Who do you think is going to be the team that's hungrier on the day? I think it's going to be City. And like that's just nature, because the fans are going to be like, you know, muted, and they're not going to exactly be cheering the team on. I think there's a lot of our fans are selling their tickets. Apparently, like tickets to the game right now are very cheap. It's even being rumored now that Arsenal fans are going to try to snap up all the tickets and go support us. So it's strange times because a lot of the tickets are going in the exchange. I know a lot of season ticket holders in my group chat who are literally saying they're not going to the game and they're putting their tickets for sale, and they can't get anybody to even buy them. So people don't want to be put in that position. Obviously, on the big picture, it's an indictment on the ownership. It's an indictment on this squad, allowing it to get to this point, because I think we could have done something about this when they came to our ground. But ultimately, I don't think we'll get Champions League. Villa's last game of the season is against Palace, and as much as Palace has been flying recently, I think Villa are the only ones that are going to have something to play for. So I think even a draw sees them secure Champions League at this stage. So for me, I think no matter what happens, we're going to lose. So I'm not nervous about the result. I think even if we try our hardest, we'll probably just lose by a narrow margin. This record has to end at some point. This whole them not scoring in our ground, them never having won in our ground in the Premier League. We saw them winning our ground in January in the FA Cup. I thought that was a game where that kind of showed you like Ange's system is not going to best Pep's system unless we get better players than Pep, because we're trying to do the same things. His guys are more seasoned. They're more talented. They've had more time. I just think they're always going to outdo us. When we went to their ground, it's 4-4. But if we're being honest, that should have been 6-0 at the first half. Like Haaland was missing sitters. Doku was absolutely horrendous that game. I just don't envision things like that happening. They've also got their talisman back in the KDB. Foden is in the form of his life. I just think no matter what attitude we come out with, we're losing the game. That makes me pleased because I don't want us to win the game. So that's where I'm at.
All right. No surprises there, right? Okay, so let me say this for the Arsenal fans, right? So in the instance or in the scenario where Tottenham Manchester City do eventually beat Tottenham, right? It still has to be decided on the final day. And then there's still another storyline on that final day as well. So Manchester City hosts West Ham, coached by David Moyes. His final game as a manager of West Ham United, where he has also coached Mikel Arteta when he was a player at Everton. So there's that incentive there as well that West Ham are going to put up a brave fight.
Do you remember Stevie G?
I'm just saying.
Remember Gerrard going to Etihad with that Aston Villa team? Should I remind you what happened to that team?
I don't even think it was at the Etihad. I think it was at Villa Park.
Oh, it was at Villa Park. And even Villa tried that game. I think they were 2-0 up at some point.
Coutinho, mind you. With Coutinho, mind you. These are guys who hadn't seen it. Again, why are we disrespecting? Is he the greatest manager or is he not? Is he a bum? If Pep is a bum, let me know, because I didn't know. I thought he was good. If he's meant to be this man, why are we saying, who cares who's up for it? If you're not Real Madrid came to the Etihad and they got spanked. They were lucky to get out of there with the win on aggregate and penalties. I don't care about these teams being up for it. You're going to get smoked. They're better than you. It's just that simple. Arsenal fans are like so delusional with this. They're trying to find relationships.
I'm just saying, like nobody's disputing the facts that or the things you just said.
Spires, you should know better. You're giving them hope to try to dash their hopes.
If Gerrard
could have had Liverpool
No, the thing is, the thing is,
No,
the
he
thing
doesn't.
is,
Not deep down. He doesn't.
He
yeah,
does.
deep down, of course. No,
He's
deep down,
he's
I don't know.
hoping
No,
that they don't, but he's trying to. You know that thing where you accept the worst
Uzo,
because
you
you
don't know.
just want to
Uzo,
be able
you
to
don't
deal
know
with
Pius.
it.
Pius actually wants Arsenal to win.
He
I'm
doesn't.
telling you.
no,
I'm
no.
telling
Okay,
He
you,
so
said
what
wants
I'm
on the
Arsenal
saying
show
to
is,
that
win.
he doesn't. He said it before.
no. So, but at the end of the day, right,
He
where
just
there's
thinks they
still a
will.
chance, why wouldn't you? Yes, where they say a chance, like why
Right,
wouldn't you? Of
right.
course, you
Yeah.
still have to say like it can happen. I remember there's this season. I don't know the season. I think okay, fine. Manchester City had already won the title, but their final game of the season, they drew to Huddersfield Town that had already been relegated 1-1. So
If they
it's
had already
football,
won the
anything
league,
can
then
happen.
that's inconsequential.
But
That's inconsequential.
they already
I
won
think
the
your
league.
I think your best example, Pius, your best example is the season that they went to the final day with you and Liverpool, with them and you, right? This
Yeah,
was the Gerrard season, right? They
let's
actually
talk.
drew midweek to give you guys a chance on the final day. If you remember, they drew a game midweek leading up to that. But then it wasn't like, if you draw, it's over. If they drew it, it was still in their hands. So the desperation levels were different. Now they know if you draw, it's no longer in your hands unless you go beat West Ham 9-0 or something
I think I
ridiculous.
think a lot. I think a couple of us has been in the Manchester City final day dilemma. I've been there. The
Oh
old
yeah. But it's not the same as this one. You guys bottled that one. You see the guy trying to insert himself.
We won our final game though.
Brother,
won.
shift. You guys had a 7-point lead, like
Lead,
5
yeah.
games to go. I mean, a
To go or
5-point
something
lead,
like
5
yeah.
games to go. Like, no, you bottled that. That's not this. This is Pep City. We're not talking about
Yeah.
man like Mancini. Like,
And that was their first title too, so we didn't even know anything about
yeah, we didn't know
it.
they had the
We didn't know
capability.
that.
This is a different animal. I think the only person that can speak to this is Pius because he's been on the brunt of it at least on
Yeah,
2 or 3 occasions.
Yeah, I was there with Conte. Remember?
No,
With
what are you
Conte.
talking about? Pep was in his
No.
first season, and he didn't go to the final day. What are you talking about?
That's
They
what I'm
finished
trying to
like
tell you.
The thing about
We were second.
The thing about Pep and
Nobody challenged you. Stop. You guys all stop trying to feel among Pius. I beg.
Uzo, if Manchester,
the thing about
sorry,
Pep
sorry,
and his team.
sorry,
The
just
thing
go on.
about
Yeah.
Pep and his team is the discipline it gives them. When I mean discipline, I mean discipline. You will barely see any Man City player do unnecessary dribbles, unnecessary passes, unnecessary this. Some people might say Pep is ruining football because they play they don't play freely. If you look at Real Madrid now, no matter how good Real Madrid is, they are two wingers, they are midfielders, they are so free, they can do this and do this kind of trickery and whatever it is. But look at Grealish when he was in Aston Villa. It was always on the front foot. And when it came to Man City, he's always been calmer, always looking for the easiest pass, always looking for the nearest man, always passing back, not taking on players so he wouldn't lose the ball. Because obviously we all know the more you take on players, the more there's a high chance of you losing the ball. Because I mean it's
But how much of that, Gypsy? How much of that is because I've heard the sentiment on Grealish, and people said the same thing about Sané. But how much of that is just the fact that they now have to go against low blocks and settle defense versus when he was at Villa, he's in on the transition. Another person that is a good example of this is Mudryk. So we saw Mudryk in Champions League in transition, looks devastating. He looked unstoppable. When you're going against an unsettled defense, guys are running backwards. You can chop them up, you can destroy them. But when you're seeing low block after low block after low block, settled defense, you can't just dribble into the crowd anymore. You have to be a little bit more creative in the way that you create chances.
the same low block defense that we are talking about, the same low block defense that Grealish faced when he was in Aston Villa.
No, he didn't. He played on the transition. Villa didn't hold the ball.
Yeah, they didn't.
That's what I'm saying.
They're more like defensive.
Is like if you look at Michael Olise now, right? And you look at Eberechi Eze, these guys are enjoying the benefit of a lot of space. They don't go into games looking to dominate the midfield, looking to control the ball. It's now recently that we're even seeing them be more intricate in the way that they play. Usually, it's just them having the license to dribble, and try to make something happen. But when you go to a better team, other teams are sitting in on you. So what are you going to do? Dribble into a crowd? I think it's more of like an intelligence and a maturity to your game where you're going against a settled defense. You can't just dribble with your head down.
I think Gypsy is also right in the sense that
We've seen it among multiple.
I mean, Doku dribbles.
Grealish is a different player. Like we see Doku, right? Doku is still the same type of Doku. but he's not just coming off. But Grealish doesn't even try anymore.
That's what we're saying.
Like he
It
doesn't
feels
I
like
don't
try.
know
those
what you guys are
players.
watching.
It feels
I
like.
I
See, let me
I,
tell you
I
something.
still see the same
When
Grealish.
I mean discipline. Now look at the impressive change of position that John Stones is having right now. John Stones was a very, very good centre back from what team did they buy him from? Stones.
Everton.
Everton. Yeah, it was a very,
Yeah.
very great defender from Everton before they brought him to Manchester City. Now he's not even a defender anymore. He's more of a transitional CDM, like a box to box CDM now. You see John Stones holding on to the ball, creating chances. If you understand what I'm saying, just the same way Guevara, the guy, the centre back that is now transitioned to be a right back, he played so nice. He scored against Real Madrid. He scored 2 goals yesterday and stuff. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about the discipline that Pep gave. You have to be disciplined enough to be able to transition to another position and play it so nicely, because your natural instinct kicks in as a defender, as a defender. And
I
you're
mean,
playing,
but it didn't work out off rip though. Like Vardio was stinking. He was probably in line for one of the worst signings this season, and I think. But we
he
all
was
know the
benched.
same thing
He was
about
benched. Now it
several
starts.
times.
Now
Yeah,
it starts.
but that's the
The
thing with all of
discipline.
Pep's signings,
That's the
right? Even
discipline I'm
Kovacic,
talking about.
when
When it
Kovacic
comes to
started, he was poor, and then he grew into his role. Nunez is still poor, but we know next season he'll probably
when
grow
it
into
comes
his
to
role.
Pep, when he shapes a player, it all singles down. There is no player the way Manchester United are having like troubles in the locker room and whatever it is. You barely hear something like that with Manchester City. And
I
this is
mean,
a
you do,
Manchester
but he just sells them like
this
he
is a
did with
Manchester City
Cancelo.
side. This is a Manchester. People say, "Oh, Manchester United players, they are young. The new generation of players." The same thing goes to Manchester City. If you do, you know how many academy players from Manchester City has come up this season? The Oscar Bob, Cole Palmer. Before they sold him to Chelsea in January, Cole Palmer, the other guy that plays up front. I can't really remember his name, but those players, they are young. Foden, he was young when he started. Other young players that were there, they don't have dressing room issues with Pep. He has that reputation of discipline. You have to listen to Pep. If not, you are sitting out.
I mean, but to be fair, like winning creates that environment. I don't think is also just down because we've seen that style backfire, right? I mean, we saw Ten Hag come in with this authoritarian personality, no nonsense. If you screw up, you're out. That kind of like the same thing we saw with Arteta, non-negotiables. But unless you're willing to sell until you clear out the dressing room, at the end of the day, like when you're in a team that's underperforming, you're always going to have those issues. We
Yeah,
saw Arteta deal with those issues at the start of his reign as well.
you have
So
to
I
have
just
you
think
have to have
winning is
backing.
yeah,
You have
winning
to
is
have
the
the
ultimate
backing.
cure.
Yeah.
And the backing of the ownership as well. If you know the manager is on thin ice, there's no reason to respect. I think what Sancho did with Ten Hag is a pure example of when you know the manager is on borrowed time. You just whatever.
Yeah.
But back to your point about I just think when I watch City, Kovacic's dribbles, Bernardo dribbles, Doku dribbles. I think even Grealish, I think he does dribble. I think it's just he's going against
Bernardo,
3-4
I don't see
people, so
Bernardo.
he has to cut back and recycle the ball because they're
I
this.
don't see Bernardo dribble. I see Bernardo create
Wow,
spacing.
no, he dribbles.
Oh, to me, he creates spacing, and he's so good at it. He is
I
extremely good at it.
I think he's even greater at dribbling. He's very good dribbler. These guys all Doku dribbles.
Oh yeah, Doku dribbles.
So
Yes,
and they just find ways to be effective. I disagree that Pep's ruining football. I think Arteta is ruining football with this 10 men behind the ball at Old Trafford against the worst
Oh
Man
my
United
goodness,
team.
you're going to
no,
come
to
for
me,
When are
his.
we gonna get into the game?
that's
When are we
that's
gonna get into the game?
We
that's
are.
that's that's
Okay, yeah,
what
we can. Please, you can
now
go ahead and get into the game,
look
please.
at Manchester. When I saw the Manchester
Yeah, Gypsy, you go
United,
ahead and speak on what you saw at your
yeah,
stadium today, please.
when I looked at Manchester United team, I've seen great Manchester United team on paper that were worse in field. This is one of the worst team I've seen Manchester United on paper for the past decade. And I'm talking about I've been through Cleverley era, Schneiderlin era, the era Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era of literally nobody, no player, David Moyes. But the only manager that has happened to manage Manchester United team to a certain extent is Jose Mourinho. Even if he played most of his ball always around ball, you have to stay behind the ball. That's one thing I know. Jose knows how to do: manage his team. He knows this team; they are not beating you if they go on the offensive. Now you got to play on the defensive and just make sure you don't concede and play on the counter. Jose is good at that. He's a very experienced coach. But this team that was put on paper today, now the amount of injury list that Manchester United had, I never expected to win this game. I didn't even expect to dominate this game. If you look at the game against Crystal Palace, we were battered all through. Like we played nothing.
Yeah.
Now the takeaway from today's game, obviously Casemiro not staying with his defensive line costed us the goal. If not, the ball to Havertz would have been an offside.
Check his
But you
bank
know,
account.
but you
Check
know,
his bank account. That was criminal.
but mistakes happen. Me too. When I play, I'm a wing back. I'm a defender too, and it's like my defenders call me. You got to stay up with everybody's line for the offside track. Sometimes you lose focus. Some people say that is not his natural position. Because I was watching Rooney and Roy Keane on I think it was on Super Sports, Sky Sport,
Sky
Sky
Sports, yeah,
Sport.
Sky Sports, yeah.
Roy Keane was saying that as a midfielder, your instinct is not to just be running back and forth, back and forth. Your instinct is to be jogging around the field, just keep staying on your feet. Maybe it was his natural instinct as a midfielder kicked in to just be jogging around, but that was still very, very poor decision from
No, you
Casemiro.
know, I
Loser.
mean,
Now, no. I'm being serious now. If you look at
yeah.
the game today, there were multiple bad passes that McTominay made to Onana at the back post that Onana had to clear out. Now, as much as I love David De Gea, if it was De Gea there, we might have considered the goal because he's not really that great with his feet, and that's one of the reasons why we bought Onana. Which I'm still not a fan of Onana, but like he played absolutely, he played well today. Let's give him his
Onana
credit.
props. I never
Onana
thought I'd
actually
hear.
played well.
Hey,
There
that
were,
save on Martinelli was a save.
yep,
That was a top draw
there were
save for
two,
sure.
there were two, three. There was a time Manchester United got the ball right in the middle of the fence. Instead of you to clear the ball out, he literally passed the ball back to Onana that he actually immediately had to kick the ball. Why would you do that? Now, out of 11 players today, Scott McTominay was nowhere to be found all through the game. These are takeaway from the game. Scott McTominay is supposed to be our number 10, our Bruno Fernandes. If you watch Manchester United's game, no. If you watch Manchester United game today, I cannot count more than one or two chances that were created in that game today. There were no chances created. Saliba was absolutely awesome today. Look at Alejandro Garnacho. He was just running into players, running into what's his name? The other can't remember
Yeah,
his name.
White.
Ben White. He was just running into Ben White all through his decision making. I sometimes I question as a Manchester United fan, do they actually train on crosses? We barely put in any cross in today. Even the commentators were saying it like the strikers in the box, they don't know maybe to make a run or not to make a run because they don't even know when a cross is coming in, if a cross is coming in. No crosses came in today. They kept on switching the play from the left to the right. The only person I can say had a good outfit today is Ahmad. I don't know why he doesn't get enough playtime, but it was very, very brilliant today. And Casemiro had a good game. Let's be very, very honest. He had a good game, except from the mistake he made today.
See,
Except,
let me
go ahead.
sorry to cut in. Let me ask you, right? So I know you're in the groove of Manchester United as a Manchester United fan. I can feel the flow coming from you. Okay, so I just wanted to ask, right? So I think Ten Hag now is going to be like approaching at the end. I think the end of it's going to be 2 seasons now in Manchester United at the end of this season. If I'm correct, or is it more than that?
Second season,
Yeah,
yeah, this is second
second
season.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
second.
yeah. So from what you've seen over these 2 seasons, right? There's been this argument around online with Manchester United fans saying, is he the man to take Manchester United forward, right? Is he the right man to take Manchester United forward, right? So there's the argument of, oh, Manchester United, it's not his fault at where Manchester United find themselves now. Manchester United they've had bad luck with injuries. They've not been able to have like a fully fit squad almost throughout the season. So that they can't really put the blame on him. But there are some other people that feel like he's not just good enough. Even with like there's some other managers that with this current squad will be doing better than he is. So the first question is, are you Ten Hag in or are you Ten Hag out? And then the second question is around the ownership structure around the club, the Ineos group. And if you go online, and there's a lot of people are leaving other clubs to come to Manchester United, the directors, chairman, people leaving Newcastle, Manchester City to come to the like. So it seems like there's some sort of good vibes at the top of the club.
If you guys
So
need a
how
roof fixer, hit up Daniel Levy. We got you.
okay? So
We'll
just
send you
just
somebody.
just speak on those things I've raised. Yeah.
Yeah. So, firstly, Ten Hag in or out? At this point, it's too early to say Ten Hag in, and it's also too early to say Ten Hag out. It's just 2 seasons in. But by what I've seen so far, the problem I have with Ten Hag is the ego he puts out. It makes when he came into Manchester United, it's like when I'm not Guardiola, but I'm as good as Guardiola. and now everybody expectation is Guardiola. If you came in as okay, yeah, I'm Ten Hag, and whatever you bring, everybody will take it now. Okay, you know what? Learning curve. You know, your first season, your second season, but you coming in made those impressions. Everybody is like, okay, yeah, we're expecting someone that is going to go toe to toe with Guardiola, with good coaches. That was it.
When he came in, he said eras come to an end. So we're
Eras.
thinking
I think
we're thinking that he was the one that was
it's
bringing his own
Manchester
era.
United era.
Ten Hag obviously has made a lot of things that are very very questionable. Like as a fan that is watching, I think he has bad choices of substitutions. Trust me, I've seen a lot of games that look at our Champions League run this season now. We will be ahead of the game, and all of a sudden it's changed up. Even last season against Sevilla, I won the first leg, the second leg, before you know it, boom. I don't understand why Sabitzer has gone back to Dortmund back on loan because he was very good in Manchester United. So things like that, they are very questionable for me to even want to support him to stay. But this season, we'll give him the epitome of doubts. He had a lot of injury concerns this season. Like Manchester United full squad has barely played more than 5 games this season together. That is how much of an injury concern we have. And as for the management issues, the Glazers, it has been an ongoing issue going with the whole player favorism and management issues. Manchester United over buying players like at a very very high price compared to our counterparts Manchester City. They get players for a very good wage, same as Real Madrid. They get players for a very good wage, at least player for what it's worth. But Manchester United, I don't understand. They just blow money on players, and it like look at Maguire and Anthony. At least Pogba was worth it when we bought him, but Maguire, Anthony, and other player Mount. Why were we buying Mount for
Man,
70
Mount.
million last year?
I
There was no reason
what
for us to buy Mount 70. We didn't even need him last. We didn't even need it. I don't understand the same.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
for me, see them. I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
know you want to come in.
No.
For
I
me,
was just. Go
okay,
ahead.
okay. As I want to say, for me as a Liverpool fan, right? I love Ten Hag. I want him to stay on in Manchester United. The guy for me, the guy is just I don't know what to use. He's
You
weird.
guys whooped me 7-7-7. It's
The guy,
Yeah,
I'm
man.
just there are some times this season I'm just like there are sometimes Manchester United all of us will watch a game, Manchester United game, right? They will lose and they will lose badly, and then he will come to the press conference and say
it's very
there
bad
was
presses. I was
he
about
will
to make
just
that point.
he will
It's
just
very
come out and say
This guy
we're
is
the better team,
the
we're the
coach,
better
the
team.
coach that I've
If only
seen that the coach
like
that
he's
I've seen
crazy, man. He's
the coach, the
crazy.
Manchester United coach that I've seen that is very good with presses. I don't know if you guys ever noticed, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He knows how to handle those press conferences. It makes Man you look like, okay, yeah, these guys can, they can actually do something. When in reality, it's literally nothing. But Ten Hag makes Man you look stupid in front of the presses, and it's like, what are you talking about? Like it's in the
I
face of
think we
everybody.
all saw the
Someone
game and
said
then you
that
see
Not the
oh
whole thing.
he's
It's
like you know Ty on AFTV.
yeah,
Bro, that's how Ten Hag is, man.
deluded, it's almost like deluded view, and
Yeah.
it will say oh, and then you always Arsenal fans always mock him because he will say oh yeah, what's his name? Ganacho was onside for that goal.
Yeah, it was actually onside. In everybody, it was onside. But it's been months now. That's bygone. Everybody had
No,
bad
it was not onside, man. That thing was not onside. I don't know why the
But
whole thing
but
that
sometimes you look at Ten Hag on the sideline, very clueless. It makes you question the kind of manager we have. I
and you
understand that. So
and
I
you're not
I
understand.
sure.
want
You're not sure if you should stay or you should leave.
I
I
know.
want
I
Ineos to
understand that
extend his contract, please.
sometimes you don't turn the team around in 2-3 seasons. Like Ateta now, he didn't just turn Arsenal around in 2-3 seasons. He just
That's a good point, man. Let's give him time.
Arteta also had his bad one, but you cannot
Yeah,
compete. If I can count how many bad records that have been broken by Eric Ten Hag. If we are going to look at statistics, Manchester United has never finished below seventh. This season we are going to finish eighth, ahead of one of the worst Chelsea side that we've ever had. No, no,
I'm not
no.
sure.
You're not
I'm
sure
not
yet,
sure
bro.
that's good.
Man U is just a more experienced bad Chelsea side. It's just the honest truth. We are more
Wow.
experienced, but we are just as bad as Chelsea.
Okay.
Chelsea are filled
Juicy,
with youngsters. It's just in the face of everybody.
You're not
Juicy.
as bad as Chelsea. They're
Who's
not
okay?
bad.
Yeah.
You're bad. Chelsea are average. You guys are legitimately bad.
That's what I'm
Bad
saying.
is
We
Man
only
United.
the luck Man you have this season is we have experienced players that knows that they can just turn
Yeah.
something out of nothing, be in the right place at the right time to put the ball in the box. That's the thing. Only thing Chelsea is lacking. Apart from that, Man U is just as this season as bad
Yeah.
as. Yeah.
So you want to say something?
So you want to say something?
I know. I just wanted to speak on the game. I think the actual game that was played today, I know United have all these issues, and maybe next week they'll hire the kitchen man from I don't know Luton, but they want to grab somebody from every team and see if they can build a project over there. But good luck to them. I don't know that stuff is never getting turned around until you guys move on from the likes of Bruno and Rashford. And I know
Thank
they
you.
didn't play today, but
Thank you.
in reality,
Thank
I
you.
think the team is
Thank
already
you.
built around the wrong people.
Yep.
And so there's already a cap and a limit to where you can actually go. But
Uzo actually do have a point. As much as I fancy Bruno, I've seen Manchester United play like 2-3 games without Bruno, and they play free flow football. Because when Bruno is on the field, they all depend on Bruno. Like you look for Bruno to give him the ball. Wait for Bruno to make something out of nothing. No matter how bad we were today, that we didn't even have a number 10. If you notice the game, the ball with Manchester United, it was more free. There was free flowing football. There was nobody looking for some fancy passes. Nobody was looking to be the main man. Everybody were playing the ball among each other. But if Bruno is there, I'm not saying it makes the game bad. It's just that it's more like an NBA team that the team is built around one player. That's how it is. And Rashford, I understand he's an Englishman, he's a Manchester United Academy player, but sometimes he needs that discipline to sit. If you can't beat a man, pass the ball. I don't understand Rashford this season. I know some as a player, you it's normal to have your off seasons, but Rashford this season it's very questionable. I don't understand it.
yeah, but all that being said, with the no Bruno, with the no Rashford, with all of the issues that are going on at United, I think the story of today, and I understand at this stage of the season, I want to make that clear. At this stage of the season, the 3 points is what matters. We can all admit that.
Oh yeah,
But
2 points.
I think some of the decisions that Arsenal have made in their approach in recent weeks and how they've gone about getting these 3 points is, I wouldn't say is anything. It's not a big story, but it's just interesting. It makes me think, okay. Because I've been telling Chooks this for weeks. I think we haven't seen the final evolution of Arteta. He's a very, very young manager by managerial age standards. He's very, very young. So he's got
Tons of
possibly
years ahead of him.
15 to 20 more years ahead of him in management. He's got time. I say that to say we know a young Mourinho was very attack minded. He was free flowing. Maybe not free flowing, but he was definitely on the front foot. Like I don't think he developed that defensive identity until he failed. And I think failure always kind of changes your ethos about the game. It's why Ange always talks about some of the bad moments that we've gone through this year as he said, I like these moments. Not that I want my team to do bad. He was like, but these are the moments where like I reassure myself of my beliefs, my system. I dig in. He gets more stubborn during these times. So now whether that's going to work or not, that's a whole different conversation. But I think what we've seen from Arteta is in the progression from challenging for top four and just missing out, challenging for the league last season and just missing out, and to the final iteration this season of the way that we now see his team wants to play. I think it's just very interesting, right? And I think when guys talk about ruining football now, of course, this style is very effective. It's churning out points. They've won games 6-7-0 where I felt like they were defensive still. You know what I mean? And he's cracked the code. Surely he's cracked the code. But it gives me cause for pause because I observed the way that they played today, and I just thought, wow. I mean, you're going against a midfield three of Scott McTominay, Kobe Mainu, and Amrabat. And I'm watching Partey and Rice get dominated off the ball. Like they're not able to get passes through. They're losing the ball. Odegaard is caught in no man's land. He doesn't have an outlet. I'm watching Saka basically play right back. I'm watching Trossard play LCM. It's only Havertz up front. This is a backline of Casemiro and Johnny Evans. It was strange to me because it's almost like he already wrote the script for this game since last year. Oh, we have Old Trafford on the final week before the end of the season. this is what we're going to do. And it's almost like he didn't care what lineup they put out there. He was going to stick to the same plan of attack. He did the same thing when he came to our stadium, did the same thing when he went to the Etihad. They sit in for large portions of the game, and then they just look to break and play through set pieces. And I think right now is not the right time to call it out. So I'm not calling it out. It's working, it's effective. And listen, if they go on to win the league, listen, Arsenal fans are going to tell me, hold that. And they'll be right to do that. But I think it's very interesting to observe this manager who everyone has been saying he's Pep 2.0. He came from City. He's got City's philosophy. No, he doesn't. No, the hell he doesn't. What I'm watching out there week in, week out in the running when the chips are on the line and the way that he wants to go about his business, this guy ain't no Pep. This guy ain't no Pep. This is no Pep. This don't look like Pep. This is not Pep's son. If there was a DNA test, listen, he is not the father. This kind of football, I've seen it before, and it wasn't Pep playing it. This is Big Sam. This is prime Mourinho. It's an evolved version of this is Dyche ball. If you go back and watch the masterclass of Dyche, what I watched today at Old Trafford, if Burnley played that, it would have been like masterclass. Well done, Dyche. So I'm not calling it out. It's being effective, but I think it just gives me kind of like this interesting view of who is this guy really? And if this doesn't work at some point, if you're not able to scam these nasty set piece goals or these transition goals, if you're not able to do that, what really is your team about? And, to be more positive on that note, like I do want to give a shout out to these two center backs, Saliba and Gabriel. Wow.
They're brilliant.
Do you know how many times they were 1v1 with
Garnacho?
I disagree with Gypsy saying Garnacho his decision making was weird, but he absolutely roasted Ben White. He roasted him. Ben White couldn't do anything with Garnacho all game. It took the combination of Saka tracking back and Saliba just being a god.
Yeah, Garnacho
on that side of the pitch.
You guys disrespect that boy, bro. I get it. Sometimes
he just has bad decision making.
Yeah, sometimes
his end product.
Opportunity, he could have put a cross in the box.
Yeah,
the amount of chances he could have put the ball diagonally through the box. Like that's
his end product was woeful. But
that's what I was saying earlier. That I don't know if
Ben White got roasted. He got roasted for sure. He had a nightmare on that side. And so I think that's credit to these two centers. And I think that's probably what allows him to do what he's doing. Because I don't think Partey was good. I don't think Rice was good. Odegaard was a ghost. It wasn't his fault. He was trying to get on the ball, but nobody was coming up with him. Saka, I don't even blame Saka for it. Like, he was playing right back, legitimately. Yeah. Legitimately, he was playing right back the entire game. I didn't see Trossard in the game until the goal. So I just, it's interesting that you can look at that lineup from United. I think even Chelsea, if they saw that lineup, would be thinking, you know what? We should be going here and doing something. I don't think anyone has played. I mean, we saw what Crystal Palace did. Oh, you're going to bring Johnny Evans and Casemiro as a back four? Okay. Olise, run at him. Eberici, run at him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I was expecting. We'll be seeing Saka and Martinelli and Trossard and Havertz like running at this United defense all game. It was very shocking to me the way that the game unfolded.
If Arsenal had gone on the offensive foot, they would have won the game easily because Manchester United
they can't defend.
Manchester United all season, we get battered when team get on the offensive.
When they bring it up to you, yeah.
When the ball is brought up to Manchester United, and they can get at least one corner of Manchester United. Like when we okay, yeah, these guys are very, very on the offensive. We lose. Look at Arsenal. When Arsenal scored for the first 10 minutes, Manchester United was destabilized. Like, and that's always a problem with Manchester United. Once we're on the back foot, it's done for the whole game.
And you know why it's also interesting though? Like why it's interesting to bring up the style that they play. Because after they scored that one goal, they were content to get out of there with 1-0. I think that's interesting because goal difference can still play a part in this. And I feel like if this was Man City, right, that had United on the ropes in this way, and they had the same advantage, I think they would be looking to say, let's drive the goal difference up so much that City now know they cannot afford to even draw. Right? As it stands right now, City are 3 goals behind in goal difference. Yeah. So if they draw, for example, if they draw to Spurs, it'll be a race to, can we win 7 and maybe you win 4? Or you win 2 and we win 5. Anything can still happen. You get what I'm saying? Like, so, and they already have the advantage in goals scored. So if they end up getting if they end up getting tied on goal difference, they win the league. City win the league. So I think it's interesting, the approach, because I'm like, I'm thinking you're going to be looking to go there and say, you know what? Let's make this like +8. You know what I mean? Like let's
Because the Man
win
U team
4 or
on
5
paper, the
because
Man
they
U
were
team
there
on
for the
paper,
taking. Yeah, they
the
were
Man U
there for
team
the
on the
taking.
Man U team on paper today are that kind of team I expected Arsenal to bring the fight to. If they had brought the fight to them, there was nobody that could have held Arsenal. No Manchester United player today that
Okay.
would have done it.
Yeah, it
All right,
was
guys.
shocking to me.
All right, guys. Okay, let's before we move on, right, from this, Jimmy, I just have one final question for you, right? So, as a Manchester United fan, you
Mm-hmm.
still have the FA Cup final to look forward to, right, versus Manchester City. You're already
It's
smiling.
one
I,
play.
I,
I beg, just
I,
help us lose that game gracefully. Man City.
There's nothing to be played for. We barely went to Coventry, and that's one of. Sorry, go finish your question.
so, are you saying you don't have any hope or any chance that you can beat Manchester City in the
If we
final?
are being realistic, there isn't. The same,
Okay.
literally what we were talking about like a minute ago about when a team brings the fight. No matter how big the team is, no matter
Yeah.
how big this team is, look at
Yeah.
look at Coventry. No matter how small they were, they brought the fight to Manchester United, and under 25 minutes, literally under 25 to 30 minutes, we were battered by 3 goals. And this is a
Yeah.
team that is literally in what? They're not even top 4 in the championship. They're like number 6,
Yeah.
7. They're literally playing for the playoffs or whatever it is. This is Coventry City that none of their player starts in their international team. And this is a Manchester United team that literally almost every player there can make it into their national team. And we were
Ah.
3 goals up. Even before we scored those 3 goals, it was literally a hassle. Now we scored those 3 goals, and we didn't sit back for us to say, oh, maybe we sat back and they scored us. They played so brilliantly. This is Coventry. We barely went on penalty because they scored the last kick that was also offside. If that ball wasn't slightly offside, Coventry will be facing Manchester City. There's no way we want to face Manchester City with that kind of mentality all season. We got out of the Champions League with that mentality, and we are not beating City with that. No.
There's always still a chance in football, so don't just write of
Not
any
against
sort
not
of.
against Pep.
Huh.
It's
Okay.
Pep.
Okay. Okay. Okay, we'll see how it goes. I think anything can happen. Like I always say, there can be twists and turns. By the wayside, it's possible you can catch Manchester
Pius, you
City
need to
on
get
there.
that on a t-shirt, man. That's your MO.
Yeah, that's my thing. So like you can catch them on an off day. Who knows? Who knows? You never know. You just never know, right? So that's why we like
Are there
football.
any twists and turns that?
If if that's the case, then many people who watch the game. They'll just be like, oh well, Manchester City is going to win. Let's just
No,
you're
we
going to
If
tune
have
that's
in
the
because
case,
we have some Ten
you're still going
Hags,
to
man.
tune in.
We have some Ten Hags. We have some Thai. So
Of course, there's always that mistake. Okay,
we're going to
right.
we're going to
Huh?
see how Manchester United are going to come up because of the whole injury saga we have
So
right now.
yeah,
We'll see what's
we'll
gonna
see how it
what
goes.
Ten
Yeah,
Hag is what Eric Guardiola is gonna bring out of his bag. So
there's still a minute possibility that
I just
Guardiola
hope
goes
one day Thunder
trophyless.
doesn't strike us on this show, man. The way we reference Pep, man. That guy's name
No,
has
what I would say,
suffered here.
no, Uzo, I don't think I agree. Like we're just saying,
Pius,
it's food.
Pius,
No, the
Pius
way you're
has
saying,
literally
no, Uzo,
no
like
Pius,
I need
Pius.
to come here. I need to come here and disagree with you. Like
What's up?
you're just saying, you're saying things as if it's like, oh, it's a given that Guardiola is
It
going to win.
is.
It's not. Is it?
You know,
Please,
you know what's so funny
when
to
was
me,
please.
the
right?
last time? When was the last time Manchester United defeated Manchester City outright? Like Manchester United went to the game, we played, and we actually won. Yes, I remember the time we won 2-1 or 6-1 against City. Yeah, that game, the old Rashford offside. Maybe it was offside, maybe it wasn't off
I've
because
seen,
he didn't touch the
yeah.
ball before Fernandez scored. I'm talking about when Manchester United went to City or City came to United. We played an even game, and it's like, okay, yes, this game was an interesting game, and Manchester United won. When was
that's
it?
not even Manchester United. Any team,
Against Guardiola.
any
When?
team, not just Manchester United.
Let us
Any
be
team.
realistic here.
I
They
shall
might
hope
win.
that if I'm ever really good at my job, people don't discuss me the way they talk about Pep, man. I feel for the guy
So what have we
sometimes.
said? What have we said?
Do,
That
do
what
you
have we
know
said
that?
here?
Do you know that Pep hasn't won a Manager of the Month since 2021? This is
Just
what I'm
They
saying.
won't give it to
We
him.
we have done this guy a disservice, and you know what? That's why he's going to resign. That's why he's going to win 8 straight until we all cry blood. Because until we all start respecting, all he wants is respect, and he'll leave. If you guys know what's best for this league, and you don't want it to turn into Bundesliga, where somebody has won the last 11 straight, please start to give this guy the respect that he deserves. All this, West Ham and David Moyes on his swan song is
But
going
it's
to
still a
turn up
possibility. That's
with
what we're saying.
Antonio.
Like, it's a possibility, Uzo, right? Is it not
Why
a
is it a
possibility?
possibility? Have
This
we seen
guy
it
has
before?
Because
this
it's
guy has-
football.
This
It's
man
football. It can happen.
You know what's annoying me about Pius? Pius has been on the receiving end of this very same guy, and he
Yes,
still
I've been on this.
weirdly thinks that
No,
randomly in year 8 it will finally happen.
This
It
man-
doesn't.
Yes.
This
It
man
does
has
not
turned-
happen.
This
I'm
man
not
has
saying. I'm not
turned-
saying it will. I'm not saying it will. Right? There's a difference between it will. I'm not saying it can
It,
because it's football.
Pius, if you
and
were someone
Pep
that
is a
used to
human
give
being.
people,
Manchester City players are
Pius,
human beings.
if you were someone that gives people slips or gives them any kind of odds, they would have hung you since in the streets.
But you
You
know
would
what?
have
I'm going to
drained all their money.
This man has
So
turned
if Manchester City don't win the Premier League or the FA Cup or even both, my goodness, don't come to the show because I'm going to
No,
roast you.
Pius, how about this? Forget about if they don't, right? I already have an outstanding bet with a Spurs fan that I told you guys about this bet way back in December when they were 7 points adrift and they were
Right.
arguably the worst City side. They are different. They miss Mahrez. This one even said they miss Cole Palmer. Can you believe that? Guys were making up different scenarios. I stood 10 toes. I said these guys will win the league, and at the end of the day, we'll be saying the same thing we always say. Why did we give up on them so early? Why did we write them off? Oh, Pep has turned it around.
See,
I'm still standing here telling you, I would bet any amount. If I could go take my house rent now and say that City will win the league, I will put it.
Don't do it. Too.
Pep
But, okay.
has turned
Telling you
Premier
guys
League.
that Pius, see, the only way Pius speaks like this is when he has something convincing in his mind about Arsenal. God, this brother wants
The same Pius I woke up to watch Sheffield versus Arsenal saying they had something for him.
This brother, he has been
Cameron
saying it
Archer.
since the beginning.
Pius, did you get what you wanted from Cameron Archer? The guy is going back now to Championship to go cook more.
Pep has turned Premier League to what people will call the Farmers League.
It's a farmers league.
Look at Premier League. Apart from
His closest challengers are people that he gave them players.
Guys,
apart from Man City
James, yeah.
in
Sorry,
Europe.
just finish your point.
Yeah, I'll just round up mine. In Europe, apart from Man City, there's no other team anybody literally see getting into the semi-finals of Champions League or even the Europa or whatever it is. And this is the Premier League that everybody is yelling, oh, the best league in the world, the best league in the world. Make it make sense.
Bro,
This is what Guardiola has done. That's why we need coaches and players and technical directors that are very intelligent, that knows how to scout for players.
See how he snuck technical directors in there because Man U is now these guys, man.
Now leading the race with some top technical directors.
That's army.
Look at the physical. Look at our athletic. Is it athletic that our physical therapy team, whatever? The amount of injuries Man U have had this season is very close.
Sport turned
How many
into?
matches has Mason Mount played? He plays 2 matches.
Guys,
They say in training is injured, and we bought him for 70 million.
What
When
has
he's
my
buying?
sport
Gypsy,
become?
Gypsy.
We're now talking about technical and athletic directors, bro. Please.
James, guys, okay. So let's quickly move on, right?
They don't wound Man U, man. Pius, can't you see the pain? The guy's talking about technical directors and physical therapists.
Let's move on from Manchester United and the title race, and let's come to Chelsea. You know, let's talk about Chelsea a bit. So like I mentioned
Chelsea.
at the top, like I mentioned at the top of the show, right? 3 wins on the bounce. It's looking like Chelsea's going to finish ahead of Manchester United, which will make Adam smile.
I mean,
Rich James.
and smile.
James.
Smile. You have like Man is finishing the league with minus something goal difference now. Make it
Rich James, the captain.
And Guardiola minus something goal difference. I imagine.
Rich James, the captain, is back. Back with back giving assists.
He'll soon be
So,
back
yeah,
where he belongs after next game. But
life is looking good now at the west side of London, the blue side of West London.
Is
So
it
yeah,
really,
Adams,
though?
take it away. What do you have to say about Chelsea?
Man, I thought that game was going to end like every other game this season, and I'll come on this show. I don't know what to say, but yeah, it was because I feared for them. Once they came out, I saw the atmosphere at Tottenham.
Forest Ground.
Yeah, Forest Ground. It was rocking. I'm like, bro, I fear for these players, man. The occasion was going to swallow them, but yeah, we saw that it was almost going to be that way, and that boy they call Hudson Odoi celebrating, bro.
Doing
The
like this.
disrespect,
He
man.
thought it was him. He thought it
He,
was him.
he thought he won it. He thought he won it.
Yeah, he
He did
thought he wanted
something.
it. And Gibbs White was egging him on. You know,
You know the funniest thing about that celebration is
football is so
he
funny,
started it
man.
like this, like no, don't worry, I'm not,
Yeah, I'm not
I'm not
celebrating.
celebrating. And then
Yeah,
he like this,
yeah. Gibbs White was not egging him on. Like, yeah, you're the ball. You are him.
nah, bro, I didn't expect that from him, and that touched my heart because that was my boy. I was always rooting for Odoi, but
But at the end of the day, come on. But at the end of the day, those things don't really mean so much. It's a Nottingham Forest fan. Why
bro,
would
I
you
don't
celebrate?
care
I'm sure
about all
Nottingham
of that.
Forest fans.
I don't care about all
You'll
of
be
that.
But
I
I
don't
have a
care about.
question for Adam. I have a question for Adam.
please
Yeah,
ask Adams. Please ask him. Please.
Do you think Todd Bowley and his team has and his like set team of directors and whatever his choices and coaches and whatever they figured out how football works because he was never
nah,
into
no,
football.
obviously not. Obviously not. Like we've seen all the choices that they make. The choices that they made led us here, man. They first started. I remember when they signed Sterling, Koulibaly, and after a while they said, okay, that's not working. Then they went and started signing Madueke, Jackson, but a bunch of players that we'll probably never see. Fofana, what's the name of this other guy? Can't remember his name. Angelo, guys you don't even know, and they're still linked to someone, Messinho and
Estavio. I think they're about to sign the Brazilian Estavio. I mean,
and then that's him now, Estavio. I can't remember his first name, but they call him Messinho.
I heard he's the next best thing out of Brazil now.
Well, man, like, and then they decided to go hire Graham Potter as the manager. And after that didn't work, they brought in Frank Lampard. Respect to Frank Lampard, of course. And then they decided to go get Poch. Obviously,
As a player. Respect to Frank Lampard as a player.
and better than most coaches. I don't know why people don't want. Yeah, better than a lot of these managers, man. Better than a lot of these managers.
That's a very subjective opinion, but go on. Go on.
But yeah, like they've not gotten it right so far. And there's been a few things that, like some players like Palmer, we can't argue about that. That what a signing that has been. But overall, the project, I don't think it has worked. Now that we are starting to see some of our players understand themselves, our seeing players return from injury, so that has been a timely boost. And like this season is just giving perspective because earlier in the season we just had a lot of issues, and I had the back and forth. Uzo was talking about, well, I told you so. I told you that like the injured players mattered, and yeah, obviously, like nobody's disputing that. But we just I had some questions for Poch when the players were injured. Like, can you find an alternative? What can you do? We didn't really see any signs of that, and that's true. Like, it was true. Now he has improved. And one thing I won't do is I don't have any agendas against anybody. Bro, I don't care. If you turn up, if you win, I'm on your side because you're in my team. Like, I'm not going to do that weird thing where, because I don't have any ego. If I was Poch out and he starts to win, why would I keep being Poch out?
Yeah,
The logical thing is to,
exactly.
yeah.
So
So,
yeah.
but I mean, I think the sample size is still small. It's 3 games. We've done very well. Let's see what we do at the end of the season. Then we can accurately say, okay, how did the season go? And don't let us
Yes.
finish. Don't let us finish above Manchester United. Please don't.
Oof.
You guys would now. You
Don't.
guys.
Don't.
We
That's
are
Not
going
that's
to
what I'm going
plaster
to
them up. We are going to roast
That's
them.
all I'm
I
going
can't
to
wait.
say.
As for Emma Mude, I have a question. Yeah, I'm a
You have a
Manchester
question?
United fan. I want to question you. So you see, as Manchester United are going to have like coaching issues because we don't know if we are going to get Ten Hag or Ten Guardiola fired or is going to stay. What do you think is the best fit right now on the market? Because I don't see any credible coaches literally on the market
What do
right
you
now.
mean?
When I mean credible coach, look at the situation of Manchester United right now. Which coach do you think is literally on the market that can come in?
Yeah.
They are linked to Southgate. I don't find Southgate brilliant. They are
No,
linked to Graham Potter. I don't think he can do anything with this current Manchester United squad. They are linked
no.
to Zidane, which is speculation. Some are saying fake news. Some are saying. But what do you think is on the
I,
market right now that you feel like yes?
I think the best that comes to mind for me as well, I don't like Manchester United, so I don't want the best for them. But I think the name that comes to mind is Thomas Tuchel. That's the name. Like that's someone that I think he can come in and do a good job for Manchester United. That's my opinion. I can see you.
He's about to
Like you're not
disrespect.
sure.
Are you really about to
Yeah.
disrespect?
We see what he's doing with Bayern at the moment. We see what
Bro.
he did with Chelsea too.
What did you do with Chelsea?
Yeah, come on. Before he left,
Oh,
he gave
okay.
a good note.
I hope he doesn't do what he did with Chelsea for Manchester United.
Manchester United.
Yeah, he won
He
the
won
Champions
the Champions League for
Beat
Chelsea.
them.
Now.
No. They
One
won
of the most boring finals I've ever seen against Uzo's team. Oh, sorry, Uzo, but
No. So that's the thing. So I disagree with you. James. Like when you say more, like they played games to get there. It's not like they just found themselves in the final. You get. They
Wait.
played games
How
to get
was the
there.
final boring?
As if like.
How-
Like when I say, people say, oh, Liverpool Tottenham
We
final
can't hear
was
you,
not
Uzo, you're
boring
mute.
final.
No, I'm
Can you hear
saying
me?
they didn't play my team. They played City.
No, I'm saying like
No,
I
no,
was
no.
just
He
giving.
said
I thought
we
it was
respected my team.
Liverpool that played your team. Uzo,
Yeah.
sorry.
No.
Yeah. So when people say,
Chelsea earned their UCL for sure. Unlike
Yeah.
Liverpool, that
everybody
stole
earned
their
their
own.
UCL because you don't just get to the final. You play
Connor taking quickly, eh? Connor
exactly.
taking
We
quickly.
played Barcelona.
Sissoko.
We played top teams to get to that final. So when people say, oh, like Chelsea now, Chelsea played Atletico Madrid. I think
They
Thank
played
you,
Real
Miles.
Madrid.
Thank you.
They played Real Madrid
I
as
think
well.
Chelsea also played Real Madrid as well. I think they beat Real Madrid as well.
They beat Bayern.
So you can't discount those five. They play top teams to get there. We saw
I
your
never
Manchester
thought I would be
United
saying
lose
this,
to
but thank you, Miles.
Copenhagen, Galatasaray. So it's not you can't disrespect. You can't
We'll see,
disrespect
we'll
the
see,
guy.
we'll see what the summer.
I actually hope he comes to Manchester United. I do hope he goes to Manchester.
We'll see what the summer brings us to because there are now choices in the kind of players he has signed since he has been here. The only player that he has signed that has flourished is who I can't even know. Maybe Martinez. Maybe. Apart from that, I
Okay.
don't see any of his players that flourished.
All right, Jimmy. There's this question I wanted to bring to the show, right? As Adams was talking about Chelsea, I mentioned that Rhys James is back, and I also made a comment in our group that for me, it fits Rhys James is the best right back in the Premier League. And I saw Uzo reacting like, that's my
No,
opinion.
I just rolled my eyes because this is the ifs and buts, man.
He barely plays the game for
Right.
you to be able to come up with such a conclusion. Not
No,
discrediting
but yeah,
Rhys James.
It's not like he has not finished this. It's not like he has not played this.
His best position is in the hospital bed. But when we look at it, do you think is any better than Kyle Walker?
Yeah,
Regardless
for
of
me,
Walker's
for
age.
me, for me, it's better than Kyle Walker. For
Like,
me,
wait, are we saying presently or like in terms
Generally,
of legacy?
presently, past. He's
No,
better than Kyle
in
Walker
in his prime, he's not
For
better than
me.
Kyle Walker. Like, but we gotta stop disrespecting guys who have won and done things, bro. And of course, your
we're not
ability
looking at
is a
we're not
part
looking
of
at what
it.
Kyle Walker has won. We're talking about individually one on like
Yes, Kyle
defensive
Walker,
abilities.
Kyle Walker
shown
was
himself
literally
when he was
the
in
anchor
Tottenham.
of Pep
For me,
City.
no
He showed
way.
himself when he was in Tottenham.
Kyle Walker has
He
moments
showed
where
himself
where
when
he's
he was- when he-
he's
right
always
now
found
he's in
one
City.
thing.
He's
But
found
for-
wanting
for-
where?
Oh my goodness, man.
No, I mean, I honestly, like, I feel like Pep should just leave this league and he should take City with him. Like,
Why are you
just,
bringing Pep in
with-
this? We're not talking about
no,
Pep. We're
because this
talking
is
about Kyle
back
Walker.
to the same disrespect that City
No, it's
players
not
get.
linked. It's not linked to it, man.
How can you
It's not
say
linked.
Okay,
literally
it's like
the
me coming
anchor
up-
of
it's like me coming up with
a
this-
4 in a row winner and someone that's won 7 Prem out of the last 8 is
it's
not
like me coming up.
is found wanting
It's like
compared to
me
a guy that
coming-
hasn't even completed a full season in his
Uzo,
entire career.
Uzo,
That's insane.
Uzo, it's like me coming up to say if Fitz Luke Shaw is the best left back in the Premier
Boga
League.
King Shaw.
No.
Boga King Shaw.
No.
No,
We can't throw random names in here. Bro,
Random
we're not throwing random names.
But we've also
divide
seen
it.
Luke Shaw go on stretches of form. We've seen that.
Thank you. And I'm not even being
Stretches
biased.
of
That's not
Stop,
outlandish to say that. We've seen
Stop,
Luke Shaw
man.
look
Stop.
like the best left back in the
Luke
league.
Shaw, when he's fit,
We've seen it.
He's one, if not the best left back in the Premier League, and you can argue it all day.
Absolutely.
Tell me one left back.
Are we
that
gonna
is
say
better
that's
than
not
Luke
true?
Shaw when he's fit? In both of them, when they are fit.
Besides
the
besides
same
obviously
thing that they
guys
do-
like
They
Robertson.
are doing the
Besides
same thing that
Robertson.
we're doing for Rhys James, and they say why
No,
why
but-
should we do it?
But what I'm saying
That's
is
the
we shouldn't.
No, I'm
we
not
shouldn't
coming
do
out
it for
to
any
say
of them.
I'm not coming out to say it. I'm just telling you that if I'm to say the same thing you're saying, as a fit Luke Shaw is the
Pius,
best.
I think you're being a
left back in
prisoner of the
Premier
moment, and I think that's something that always happens. When Reese first got injured, I was hearing Chelsea fans say, "Sell this guy," and Adams, if you tell me I'm lying, you're lying.
Of course.
I was seeing Chelsea
I know
fans
Chelsea
saying,
fans said it.
"Get rid.
Yeah.
We've had enough."
Yeah.
Right? Now, when Malo Gusto started playing really well, I was hearing Chelsea fans saying Reece is going to have to earn his way back into this team. I heard that.
Bro,
And now he's back. And
those,
conveniently, Malo Gusto also was, out of the squad, and he's come back and he looks as class as he's always been. Of course, the overwhelming sentiment will flow. It's ebbs and flows. Class is always permanent, right? And I'm not saying that Reece isn't at the class. He's at a class. Like we've seen him on his day. He's one of the best right backs in the world, of course. But I'm not going to disregard availability, consistency.
Yeah.
These are the hallmarks and the pillars of being a world-class player. So if you're gonna say, "Oh, I'll have Reece above Kyle Walker in every respect," to me that's disrespectful. That's 1,000% disrespectful.
Do you know the kind of injury Luke Shaw came off on, and
No,
it still
let's
came
not
off?
bring. Let's not.
Yeah. Let's free Luke Shaw.
Let's not
free
insert Luke Shaw
Burger
into
King
this.
Luke Shaw.
Please, nah.
Please.
Who?
This conversation is getting too stinky.
Who? No.
Getting too stinky. But I would say Trent, Walker, like I think they're both
Trent
clear.
doesn't get the recognition he actually deserves because of his defensive.
He won't. But he doesn't even have that many defensive issues. He just has some high-profile mistakes. But I've watched Trent pocket Vinicius. I've watched him pocket him. I've watched him do it.
So the thing about these players is
I've watched Reece get roasted.
The thing about these players,
they'll say he's injured.
The thing about these players, why we always bring that up is this, like the guys that are available, make it such that there's always a discussion to be had. Kyle Walker and Trent make the discussion available. Like they make it possible for us to talk this way about them because they are not perfect. Like they are far from perfect. They have a
what did Kyle do?
Who?
Kyle Walker, what did he do?
Bro, come on, man! Like
I'm curious because if Adams, if we're talking about old man Kyle, that's different.
We've talked about
what did prime Kyle Walker ever do?
Even on this show, we've talked about Kyle Walker.
No, I mean old man Kyle. Of course, he's nowhere near the levels. That's why I asked: are we talking about if it's presently? I'm not. Kyle Walker is one of the worst right backs in the league right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's why.
But Pius is saying any version. That's what. No. Defend your point.
I'm saying the reason why we can have this discussion.
Pius is quiet now.
Pius said
even prime Kyle Walker, right?
It's just my opinion, right? I don't feel Reece James is more solid than Kyle Walker. Full stop. I don't have anything else to add to it.
No.
That's just my opinion.
Because of his controls. Come on.
No, it's not because of ball control.
No. Let's see. The thing is,
I don't want to
no. Adams, you want to defend him, but I think even you don't agree with
that. No. I don't agree with it. I don't agree. Like Kyle Walker is an all-time.
Pius, you need to learn to love your team. Stop loving other people. You have defended everybody except your boys. When will you bring the likes of Salah and Trent to these arguments? Stop defending guys like
Salah is another
like Obese James, man.
Salah is another conversation for another day.
But we can all agree.
Don't piss Pius.
We cannot agree that once we know the thing about Reece James is just the injury. Like we know, like it's clear. Like it's just the injury. Like once he can nail that,
it's just a shame. That injury, the injury has just been a shame. I just feel like if he's fit, man.
But like we can't do that to those guys though. We can't do that to Trent and Walker.
Those two are comfortably clear for me. And I used to be a Reece James guy. I thought Reece James was the most balanced of the two because I think Trent has obviously overwhelming ability going forward, kind of shaky defensively. Kyle is more of a defensive monster, shaky going forward. And I thought Reece kind of blended both things.
He's the perfect.
But again, I need to see, the reason why availability matters is that's where consistency comes from. Yeah. Who knows if he's fit all the time? Maybe it gives him more chance to even make more mistakes. You know what I mean? You just never know. When you have such a small sample size, it's very easy for it to look good.
That if Reece James is fit, like we won't be having.
You don't know that for a fact.
We won't. I'm telling you.
You don't know that for a fact.
We
won't. I'm saying, Adams, you don't know that for a fact.
No,
you don't know it for a fact.
I get it.
You can speculate, but you don't know it for a fact.
I get it. Like you have a solid point. I'm not going to dispute that. Like
that's why. No matter how much you call him Bogashaw has proved himself.
Why
do we keep coming back to this guy though?
Burger King Shaw and Obese James. Man. Let's have some real conversation.
Luke Shaw is not that guy. Like he doesn't have that ability to.
No, that.
And the funny thing is, Luke Shaw has been available more than Reece James. Like he has had seasons where he has. Bro, Luke Shaw has been playing football since when? Since Southampton days, and they still try to make it look like he hardly played.
He was good at Southampton though. He's not a bum. Luke Shaw is not a bum.
No,
He
he's
scored
not
in
a
the Euro
bum, but he's
final.
not that
He's
guy.
He's one, I'll say arguably he's been one of England's best left backs of this generation, and that's sad, but it's just reality.
All right, guys.
You can't think of another name, right? He was
The same guy asked him that who else is better left back apart from Andrew Robertson.
Left back is a nasty position.
Yeah, that's because they have very terrible left backs, bro.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Let's move on from this particular discussion. Right, Rich James Skywalker is out there. Let everybody has their opinion on things. Okay. I wanted to also Uzo. I think Uzo is about to leave us now. I think he said he's about to leave us. No worries, Uzo. I think thanks for coming on. Thanks for
what were you about to ask me? Let me leave with agenda.
No, I wanted to. The next part of the discussion was the PFD players of the season, the nominees that have been announced, right? So I saw there's also
Roger was robbed. Roger was robbed.
So I was just about to ask, like, okay, so who should have been there that is not there?
It's Roger.
I think Rodri and Saka should be there for sure.
No, Saka. No, I think Roger should be there, and I think the person I would take out is Odegaard was in it, right?
Yeah.
I think
so you're taking out Odegaard
and adding Rodri. That's it. That's all I would change.
Okay.
Wait, was Haaland in it? Who are the six?
So I think Van Dijk, Foden.
I don't think Van Dijk should be in it. With all due respect.
I agree. As a Liverpool fan, so Foden, Haaland is there. Isak, Odegaard, Palmer.
Isak shouldn't be in it.
Isak shouldn't be there over Salah.
Isak was injured half the season. Yeah, this is rubbish. The whole thing
Isak
is
shouldn't be there over Saka. That makes
Isak, Van Dijk, all these guys should not be in there.
It's another conversation for that day because Salah is just so underappreciated in the Premier League for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's racism, man. It's racism. It's racism. If Salah was of a different skin tone and ethnicity, I think he would be. I think his entire career would have been perceived differently. I do. I think they've been hesitant to give him the flowers that he deserves.
Yeah, especially the current climate we are in now with the whole Israel and Well, let's not even get into all of that.
Bro, what are you talking about, bro?
I mean, I think Salah's been better than Isak overall on the whole season.
I'm not agreeable. I mean, you can't argue that.
Yeah,
I think people just that list seems like they just made it like for recent performances. You get like for the second half of the season, not for the entirety of the season.
But one name we can all agree on though is Cole Palmer, right?
Oh.
Yeah. He should be in there 1,000%. I don't think he should be winning it. Like
he actually deserves to be in there.
Yeah.
Adams, you didn't hear what he said?
Huh? What did he say? I didn't.
He said the penalty merchant should be in there, and you nodded and smiled.
And he's here saying somebody should get.
Adam, they didn't want you. They dance.
Salah should get. He's here saying Salah should get recognized. Bro,
Salah is penalty merchant.
No, how many penalties does he score?
How many?
He actually misses a lot of penalties, if anything.
But how many does he score?
He's horrendous at penalties.
World-class goals do Salah. See what I'm talking about? Salah being under.
Adams does not like Salah.
Adams, so Kopama or Salah?
Put Adams on the spot. So Adams,
that's my last question, and I'm bowing out.
On this season, if it's this season, bro, I'm not picking anybody over Palmer this season.
Fair play. They love their boy, man.
It's just crazy how Liverpool just fell off the old trophy run. After they faced Manchester United 2 weeks ago,
man. They bought
We'll get into it.
What are you getting?
Boys,
something we've already got in.
No. Oh, Pies, you think you're going to survive this summer? Oh, man.
You guys
you don't know what's in store for you.
The way we were reminding Arsenal fans last summer.
You don't know what's in store for you.
You were saying, well, we didn't have any choice. We
will never forget.
Yeah. We had to play holding.
Arsenal learned their lesson. They were not going off the way they were going off last year.
All right, bro.
All right, man. So take care, man.
That's one thing I know Arsenal actually took note of. They didn't.
Yeah, so I actually raised up my hand. Yeah, I think we actually bottled this season.
Yeah.
We at some point
you guys were in the front foot.
Yeah.
But anyways, the players just I don't know. I think they just the mental capacity just got to them. The likes of Nunez, some other players as well. But
Nunez costed you this season. The amount of goals, the relationship.
No, we're talking about the strength Salah has got. Like Salah, chances created, Nunez and Co were not just taking those
taking those
chances. But
chances. Nunez has a relationship with the woodwork. We just don't know what it is, but and other players that have also been ignored if we are being broad. I feel like Olise doesn't get that recognition he deserves that Iberichi Eze has.
so when you say,
Only say,
are you saying that he should have been recognized as one of the nominees for players?
No, I'm saying generally as a Premier
Okay,
League
just okay,
player.
recognition. Okay.
Olise is not. He doesn't stay fit enough to. Like he always has this injury worries too. That's the thing about him. That's why I'm like, do teams that go for Olise, I think would be a gamble because of his injury record. If again, like Rhys James, if he's able to stay fit long enough, I know he plays more regularly than Rhys James, but if he can play like a full season or 2 full seasons, that's when I'll truly judge him.
But as we're edging close to the end of the whole thing, I feel like to just cut everything short. Chelsea's getting there as a whole team that are finding their rhythm. I feel like Manchester United, they still need a rebuild after 2-3 years because since Ferguson left, there hasn't been any recognition of the team. And for the Arsenal and Man City title run, the Tottenham game is going to decide it because Manchester City is not bottling it on the final day. There is
So,
no,
Gypsy, you are saying that you are confident Manchester City will be winners at the end of next week.
as
You're
long as they
confident.
don't lose to Tottenham.
No, who do you think will win? Don't say as long as
He
who do
wants
you
to
think
play.
is winning it?
He wants to play politics with us.
Okay, so you are giving means that the way you're sounding means that you are giving Arsenal a chance. Of course, they have a chance.
Their fans are just too loud. Apart from that, they deserve to win it, but Man City is winning.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you want to
Okay.
win the league against Man
We
City,
got there at the end.
if you want to win the league against Man City, you have to win it before the season ends. Don't play it down to the wire. You
Yeah,
don't want
I
to put
agree with
yourself
that.
in
I
that situation.
definitely agree with that.
It's like playing Real Madrid down to the wire. It's a risky thing to do.
Okay, so yeah, Gypsy, since you're also here, there's a point I raised last week. I also want to get your view on it as well. I also took the question a bit so Adams can jump in as well. Okay, so Gypsy, in terms of the Ballon d'Or nominees right now, who is your front runner?
Sure now. That's hard.
So we have names like Bellingham, Vinicius Junior,
Vinny, yes.
Mbappe.
Vinny, yes. If I want to nominate my top 3 this season, Vinicius, yes. Bellingham, I'm not going to put Bellingham there.
Okay.
I'm so sorry to say. And I'm going to, as much as I would love not to, but I'll put Mbappe. I would love not to because, he didn't really do anything exceptional this season like that. It's not his best season. And thirdly, which is weird for me to say, but I'll put Florian Wirtz.
Shout.
Yeah.
I think that won't be a bad shout based on what Leverkusen
The only reason
accomplished
why
so far.
Florian Wirtz wouldn't get that recognition is because his team is not playing in the Champions League.
Champions League, yeah.
If not, Florian Wirtz has been nothing but exceptional this
season. I think I agree. Adams, I just wanted to ask you, like, your view, right? I saw, after this Champions League midweek action happened, like, there's always a lot of recency. People are going to do. So I saw some very weird. I'm going to say it out. Like, for me, I think it's a very weird and disgusting thing. Disgusting is a strong word, but rubbish take. They were saying, "Oh, Vinicius Junior is better than Mbappe." What's your take?
This season?
No, like over, like in general.
In general, no. This season, yes.
Yeah. I saw it too.
This season, yes. Because if you look at the game Vini played for Real Madrid, it's just so explosive. Real Madrid are a team that plays with no striker, and Vini makes something happen out of nothing wherever you put him.
Yeah.
Mbappe. One thing about Mbappe is once you can lock him up, one-to-one man marking. If Mbappe goes up against an extremely good defender, look at when Manchester United played PSG. When he goes against a player like Wan-Bissaka that is extremely good defensively, he's left with nothing. The only thing he can use to beat Mbappe is pace.
So you're saying Vinicius Junior is better than Mbappe then?
Not
Overall.
generally, but I'm just this season, but not generally.
Okay.
Mbappe has proven himself. No, Mbappe has proven himself way more than Vini has. So I'm not going to pick Vini above him.
Yeah.
But if we are talking of this season and what they've done this season, the amount of chances created, both domestically and in the European level, Vini is clearer.
Okay, Adams, you have any different opinion or?
No, not really. But I just agree that Mbappe has to be held accountable. Like if the other great players in the past never escaped smoke, Like if you didn't do well,
Yeah.
like people came for you. Like
You called
oh,
out, especially
yeah,
when people said, "Oh, you are the next."
exactly,
You are the
exactly.
next big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So rightly
exactly.
so, man. Rightly so. People should call him out for that performance in Champions League. I felt like
Yeah,
I won't say he was hiding, but it wasn't the best performance from a player
so much
that
from him.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've crowned.
Vitinha was what we wanted Mbappe to be in that
Exactly,
game.
exactly. So like yes, that makes sense. You should call him out
But
and say
my only question now is, who do you think should win the Ballon d'Or? Who would
I
you?
think is it that Vinny or Bellingham, right? It depends on
But
Of
why
course, yeah,
is
exactly.
Bellingham in the conversation? I love Bellingham as a player. I watch Real Madrid game. I see Bellingham play. I don't think
No,
he's
I think he's been a bit influential for
yeah.
Madrid this
Yeah.
season, right? I think he's done his like he has done well his first season in Madrid. I think there's a record of maybe highest goal scorer. I forgot
He
there's a
did, he
particular
did, he
record he
did
has
good.
broken
He
there.
did good. I'm not discrediting it. But for you to say he should,
No, nobody's saying so. I'm not saying he should win it, but I think he should be in
He
the
will be
conversation.
there.
Like
He will be there. Like
yeah,
oh yeah,
he'll
he
be there.
definitely,
he'll be in the
definitely.
But
conversation.
I'm not gonna
That's
put
what being
Vinny ahead of
British.
him.
That's what being British brings for you. He will be there. Rashford was there years back. Is what
Yeah.
British media would do for you.
And I think another key thing that will play a deciding factor is after this season, there's a lot of international competitions coming up, right? That
The
all these players will be
Euros,
involved in.
Copa
Euros,
America.
let's see how Mbappe and
Yeah.
Bellingham
I
for
think
France
I
and
think
England.
Euros
Copa
and
America, Vinicius for
exactly,
Argentina as well. So
exactly.
those are still
Yeah.
key competitions that will still have a long way to decide or
Who will
play.
win
But
the
right now,
Ballon d'Or?
but in terms of points, if there is a points ranking right now, see Vinicius is ahead of
Yeah,
them.
Vinicius is in
But
the
if Bellingham and England wins the what's it called now? The
Euros,
Euros.
which is never coming home, but
Oh, okay. You
it's
can
never
never,
coming home. It's never coming home.
despite England being among the favorites to win it.
Even in the last World Cup that Argentina won, England was one of the favorites to win. England has always been like Manchester United, good on paper, but when it comes to be in field, it's horrendous. It's not something you want
Please
to
don't be
watch.
comparing England to Manchester United, please.
That's the only comparison I have to both of them. They are good on paper. When you look at Manchester United team, you see Sancho, Ronaldo, this, that, Fernandez, and when you watch them play, it's like, what is this?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That was about to be
Yeah, I
cut
think
you, man.
yeah. Okay, guys. Yeah. So I think we've come to the end of the show.
Yeah.
We've spoken a lot. Manchester United, Chelsea, the title race. It's going to be interesting, right? That title race next weekend. Wow.
Next
I've bookmarked a
Sunday,
lot of comments. I've bookmarked. I've a lot of people are so confident. Somebody said he's even going to delete his Twitter account if Arsenal wins the Premier League. He's sure that Manchester City is going to win it. Some people are saying they can bend their rent. I'm just like, hope you're not going to be homeless after next week.
that's for Uzo.
Yeah, I know you're not going to
But
be homeless, man.
next week will be a very,
I'm
very.
not saying that Manchester City is not going to win, but okay,
I keep saying this
right?
thing, man. Pius, I don't understand. I don't understand you, man. I really don't understand you.
I don't know what he has
No,
against Manchester City.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
have any. No, so the thing is, I don't have anything against Man. In fact, like deep down, of course, I want Manchester City ahead of Arsenal to win it.
That I don't
But I
believe
don't
that.
just
Pius.
I don't like the whole like it's always a foregone conclusion. So I get the part of history, right? Manchester City have been there, they've done it, but that's the past, right? This is now, right? All those titles they've won, that has gone. This is now, right? Why is it that everybody is so quick to say, "Oh, it's all over"? Man,
Well,
it's
what do you mean?
football. Anything can happen.
We've witnessed the last 3 years. What do you mean? Why is this so?
And
We
why do you
witnessed.
think this? Why do you think it can't be different now? Who says it can't be different now?
Okay,
Who says?
They have a full
So
squad.
that's where I'm just coming from. I'm not saying that Manchester City has well.
You have to weigh. You have to weigh the chances. That's the same way we were weighing the chances before the Arsenal Man U game today. Everybody expected Arsenal to win, cruise to victory, because it's just Manchester. Current Manchester United is nowhere close to class. The same thing. Look at Manchester City team that is going against a very shaky Tottenham. They have a full squad. There's even nothing like not a full squad in Manchester City because their bench is enough to make a starting 11 in Manchester United team. So this is the team going up against, and we can say an LD Arsenal team also, but going up against Tottenham down the wire, and these are players that they are eligible and they can make it into the Champions League final. Come on now.
bro. So why?
Chances are still
That's the thing. Don't be surprised that people are saying that Manchester United. I'm sorry,
That's
Manchester
But
City
next
have
week
won.
to call it close. Next week is going to be a very very exciting episode. You guys, I'm actually waiting to see you guys to watch the you guys episode next week after the closing day,
yeah.
the
Yeah,
final day of this thing. Because it's going to
For
be a
that
very
weekend.
very exciting one.
Yeah.
You see whose team is top, whose team is.
yeah, yeah. That's why.
We'll see the Arsenal fans. Maybe they'll be
Yeah,
smiling, or they're gonna have a grin up on their face, and next by
yeah.
this time next Sunday
We will
We'll
know
know,
where
man.
we
we
know
will know
who are
where
the
we are.
champions here. Yeah.
You'll see
All
if
right,
Premier League is going to have a blue ribbon or a red and white ribbon.
Red Bull. All right, Gypsy. Thanks so much
Thank you very much,
for coming
Pius.
on the show. Thank you
Yeah,
for taking our time to join. We really appreciate you
no
coming on.
problem.
We'll see. Hopefully, good luck to. Well, I don't like Man U, but good luck to you guys in the FA Cup
I don't like
final.
Liverpool, so you guys give us too much troubles.
Good luck to you guys in the FA Cup
And also,
final.
man, Adams, thanks for inviting me. And yeah,
Yeah, man, for sure, man.
anytime.
Yeah, bro, Gypsy's an OG of the show, man. Like he used to come on,
Anytime.
like we like even when we used to do like in person, bro. Man, shout out to you, man. Thank you for coming on,
No
bro.
problem, man.
Shout out, man. Shout out to you, man.
No
Thanks,
problem.
man. Oh, well, we'll see you guys next
Peace,
week, man.
man.
Take care, man. Thanks, guys.